Greetings. This this is Pillar Nexus, the Ancient Gladiator. Today I'm just at my work table. I just want to hang out for a while and just chat about whatever. I did the play and chat chips challenge thing the other day, and yeah, I think it's gonna be the last time I do anything um, chat while playing a game related. Got my drink with me today. Good old Arizona. I had to make sure, I have to really turn it upside down and shake it to get whatever stuff at the bottom is mixed in. What am I working on at my work table today? I am making a game that is going to use this particular set of card sleeves. I have so many of them left. The game I'm going to return to is called Substructure. Exploring a vast underground with crazy ass monsters and shit. The map cards are going to be like 2 by 3 squares. 2 squares by 3 squares. And random terrain, and random parts of it will be blocked off for movement and line of sight. It's representing the actual structure itself. Going to be making 29 map cards, and I've already got 20 done. I was trying to work on this while watching. Should I bring the mic closer? While watching like anime and other stuff on my TV. Yeah, I've got the HDMI cord that connects from my to my TV from wherever I need it. So either my Blu-ray player or my laptop. You can just watch whatever on the TV instead. It really helps in the morning because my laptop goes really weird when it's cold and the screen gets all bizarre. It helps to have that TV as an option for an alternative monitor. So I can check my email, check Twitter, check YouTube, check Reddit, check TV tropes for VTuber discussions. Speaking of, holy crap. Didn't see that coming. I guess that's what happens when you're out of the loop on people you're only mildly curious in. It's funny that early on she did this art stream with herself and her mascot's fan base representation. I took the picture from that tweet and saved it to my thumb drive and went down to the library and printed that out. That is still on my wall. It might stay up there. We'll see. Yeah, I've got some some VTuber stuff on my walls for sure. Membership thing from Sora, a membership thing from Kiara, the graduation thing from Pikami, and a whole lot of Kanata fan art. Printed out, cut to size, fitted onto this black poster board, and painted her name on it, and of course I would botch the fucking cover logo because I didn't pay attention. It's fine. wonder how much time has to pass before I can look back on it and feel like, wow, what was I thinking? I don't know. I never want to look back on my interest in VTubers with shame or cringe, because I think VTubers are pretty cool. It's just and really online entertainment in general. Lately, the old escapist crew has come back as Second Wind. So they've had to take up new names for their old project properties. So it's not Zero Punctuation anymore. It's Fully Ramblematic. I remember discussing that point, and it was like, oh, hell yes, we're so back. Because I remember when I was first getting into the Zero Punctuation stuff, it's like, yeah, it's, his original site is, a Fully Ramblematic. So hearing that name again was pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, speaking of online content, the YouTube short for Android Mainframe is now public. Feel free to check that out. It's always fun to go into the analytics and see who's still watching my old shit. Mansions of Madness, the short for Mansions of Madness board game, still gets views, which kind of blows my mind. It's like, wow. Looks like somebody the other day was just kind of steamrolling through the costume shorts. The short for Warcraft still gets views. Ventura still gets views, which is surprising. And happy 100 plus views to the Eve Conquests video. My best out of the board games, non-short videos. Yeah. I don't know. I might miss doing all this stuff. But next year, I want to put my focus on some other stuff. Like, getting out of the house more. I know I want to go back up to the Ethos to spend that gift certificate I've been holding on to for the last month. I only have one more month to spend it. $25. Which leads me to another point. Next year I'll be dropping off from Twitter, and I'll be putting some more focus into Facebook. Facebook is going to be my point of Pueblo, Colorado, keeping up with all that shit. Local game store, other local hangouts, and other stuff. Just to keep my social options open. I think next year I'm going to be unavailable for the board game league and just Tuesday night games in general. I'm kind of getting frustrated with this current board game group and the fact that some people are just a little bit on the harsh side. Yeah, I know, analysis paralysis sucks. And you want to push people to keep going. But just, I don't know. Is it really so hard to not be an asshat about it? Calling someone by the name of another person who's also kind of on the slow side. Oh. This kind of accepted, the kind of trash talkiness of the gaming group as kind of a normal thing. But I'm starting to get sick of it. The thing is, I love board games, so it's like, where else do I go? The other store is way the fuck out of the way. And it's not something my mom likes going up to precisely because of that reason. Especially this time of year is getting darker sooner. Traffic is a pain in the ass. Two major game stores in this town. One that used to be in walking distance is now on a little bit off of Highway 50 going west. The other is over off of Pueblo Boulevard on the southwest side of town. I miss having a place to go to that's in walking distance. The only real places to go are the Spartan Grill place. I believe I've said it before. I don't like being around alcohol or people who are under the influence. It's not the kind of social atmosphere that I like. Which is why I wish the ethos was a little bit closer. The only other place nearby is a freaking fitness center, gym, whatever. It's like, I should probably do some more exercise and stuff to get in shape and all that. But I don't know, being around people like that, I'm not entirely comfortable. The last major um, um, exercise thing I got into was when I was in high school. And I'm not that teenager anymore. Alright. Okay. Yes, I measure with the imperial side of the ruler. Most card sleeves go off of millimeters. Some occasionally have the inches as an extra thing. Let's focus on this for a sec. Alright. So that's about how they're going to turn out. I'm going to cut off the sides here, and then they'll fit. pretty well into the card sleeve. We'll save that for later. You don't want to hear the sound of the scissors cutting too much. What else? Yeah, I watched Bocchi the Rock. I finished watching it. It was a great series. I want it on Blu-ray. No English dub though, which is I don't mind subtitles if I'm really open to watching the show and I'm willing to sit down and watch it. But in general, I have shit that I'm trying to get done, and I like having the anime and other stuff. That's kind of my background to what I'm working on. So I have to keep reading subtitles every few seconds. That I'm not getting my shit done. If I'm not getting my shit done, I'm gonna just try to get through it quickly and not really think about whether or not I'm enjoying the show and think about more. I just want to get back to my work. I got curious about the show and I like it, but I'm not getting my work done. But it is a good show. I'll go with that. I need to get back to. I want to get back to watching Dot Hack Science since I was watching that first. Got interrupted. When there's a shit ton of dialogue, I always prefer it in English. Just it's easier to process. It's easier to remember. I can keep things organized in my head better. But I'm gonna finish watching that, and then I've got so we got a local Big Lots here, and they've got like these like discounted DVDs and shit. So I picked up Wayward Pines. I've never seen this show, but looking at the back, it's like, you know what? This sounds like an Uncity kind of the vibe. And I'm always about more stuff that fits in line with the Uncity concept I keep having nightmares about. Like, probably the most recent nightmare I've had that would line up in my Uncity canon be a store, a big damn store, and it's damn near empty, and they're in the process of converting to an online distribution center. So there's one last chance for people to come in and look around for what little stuff is left that they're willing to sell, fixtures and everything. Yeah, that's Uncity, is stuff disappearing, stuff changing drastically, people being very out of the ordinary, people disappearing. Agencies trying to move in and control information. I never did get to revisit that for the game concept idea I was going to go with. Nobody fucking watched that. So, missing a stream. Fuck it. I'm here. I'm. You know what? This is my time. I will watch the VOD later. I remember the first nightmare of the Letdown City. Just this crazy ass mall, this mysterious agent. this rush of questions. I started making notes of all the weird dreams I was having and trying to twist that into a narrative of some kind. The best I could do was a world building. But getting back to writing like I used to would be interesting. Would be an interesting use of my time after this content creation path is done. Still, Day of the Ogre and that craziness. Wavebreakers, Unt City, Pandemonium. All these worlds in my head. It's like I'm trying to keep them straight and separated. Although some of them do overlap, like Wavebreakers and Day of the Ogre. I figure if I can work on my writing skills a bit and get a feel for characters and narratives and settings and other things, what I could do is, take a good look through my role playing shit and actually run a fucking game. Because all that stuff just gathers dust. I love reading these books, but man, I just don't really get around to running any of them. I haven't played in anyone's RPG in ages. I think the last time I got to do it was 316 Carnage Amongst the Stars for role-playing game day in 2016, 2017. Because when the game store was at its previous location. But played 2 sessions of that, and I got to be the sergeant and get blown the hell up by a friendly frag grenade by someone who was trying to take out the last opponent. Fun times. Thing is, if I get into a game group, I want to get into a group that's not just, the game, playing games, but also hanging out beyond just the game store. I've accepted my, my usual stance of just keeping a friend, keeping the people I like hanging out with as just the people I play with at the game store. But I want to start moving beyond that and find people I can hang out with beyond the game store and, just talk about life and everything. Yeah, just kind of got all weird. Let's see here. Yeah, I talk to my mom about stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. It's like, getting friends is hard. Oh, yeah. She has her work, and she doesn't really hang out with anyone outside of work. She has someone that used to work where she does right now. And she talks to them sometimes. I think the last major social group she really had was when she was in the bowling league. I would go with her. I'd bring like some of my cards or get some quarters and go play on the arcade machines, like the Adams Family Pinball, Medieval Madness Pinball, and have fun with that. It was her or one of her teammates got a strike and give him a high five or whatever. Yeah, she enjoyed bowling, but then there's this thing called the Corporate Cup, and apparently one year, um, someone stole her shit. I'm to this day I'm keeping an eye out for any bowling bag and shoes combo to see if it ever turns up. But who the fuck steals a bowling ball and shoes customized to one person? Honestly. She's got kind of panda issues now that I don't think she's really able to bowl if she wanted to. But still, the point of the matter is taking someone else's shit is just wrong. I never really got into competitive sports of any kind myself. I like kicking around a soccer ball or shooting a basketball for fun by myself, but I'm not really. Uh, Part of it is my own physical condition is asthma, giant pain in the ass. It's not as bad as it used to be, and I very rarely have any serious attacks, but still, combination of bad weather or serious exertion will make it flare up again. But now I was in school. I'd come home. I'd watch TV or I'd play on my computer or PlayStation 2. Or if it was a Friday night, I'd go down to the game store, play the Friday Night Magic. See, I kind of miss Magic from way back when. Magic the Gathering these days is fucking weird. They're they're getting into all this other franchises. I still I still think Planeswalkers were a bad idea. People love them, but I think they're just uh, it kind of takes me out of the experience of the game. In hindsight, I guess in a way they kind of make sense. It's a kind of ally that can also do stuff, but people are just so reliant on them that building a deck without planeswalkers is apparently kind of crazy. But hey, at least Magic the Gathering will always be the game where most of the cards you get in the booster pack are useful. One of the okay, one of the good things about Yu-Gi-Oh is the art is pretty cool. I like the art for Yu-Gi-Oh. But holy crap, opening up a booster, if you're not doing a like draft kind of thing, most of those cards are going to be useless. And if you're very lucky, you'll have at least one good rare card and the few common cards that you actually like that can help fill out the deck. If you're really unlucky, even the rare card is shit. But again, good art. Still fun. Pokemon was an interesting approach of having the energy directly attached to the Pokemon instead of having a mana pool land section. Although the whole prizes system of you get rewarded for doing good kind of tips the balance a bit. Which is why I kind of prefer the Duel Masters approach, where as your shields get broken, you get cards into your hand that you can actually use. And provided it's not, you're getting attacked when you've got no shields, you might have time to use it. That game was very silly, and I wish I'd played it more. And going off to the opposite of silly was Hecatomb. Game of stitching up minions into abominations to reap souls from your opponent and end the world. It had a few things that were kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it was pretty horrifying of a concept. That is a game that I would love to see a digital re-implementation for. Because, just the whole stacking of the cards to make the abominations is really cool. And there's no other game that really does that. I also kind of miss Legends of the Five Rings. Or Legend of the Five Rings. You've got your Fate deck, your Clan deck, Clan or Personality deck. You have your Stronghold. Your Stronghold is going to give you your starting honor, your basic defense for your provinces, and then it's a holding to get you money and whatever special abilities it's got. And on your turn, you use your holdings to buy cards out of your provinces. And it'll give you more holdings, personalities, other stuff that comes into play. And then your Fate deck gives you actions and spells and units and equipment and the rings. The ways to win that game are get your family honor up to 40. Bring your opponent's family honor down to -20. Destroy all 4 of your opponent's provinces. And get out the 5 rings. Fire, water, air, earth, and void. Getting out a ring requires a certain approach. Rings also have a very high focus value for duels, Because that's one of the things you can do in this game is you can have your personality duel another personality. If they back out of it, they become dishonored. And you have to separate your honored dead from your dishonored dead. Yes, Legend of the Five Rings is fantasy Japan called Rokugan. There's a board game called Battle for Rokugan that I really want to pick up, but I'm to see about that. There'll be various clans like Lion Clan, very honorable samurai. Crab Defenders, Unicorn Cavalry, Crane Duelist, Scorpion Ninjas, Dragon Monks, Phoenix Shugenja, Mantis Naval, I think. And there's a sort of combined thing of for the Shadowlands called the Spider. And there's apparently this long-running meta plot of getting a new emperor on the throne. And apparently the Shadowlands came very close to winning. But yeah, it's an interesting game, and I wish I'd played it more. But of course, every card game requires someone to play with. So of course, the games you're going to find people to play with are the games that are more popular right now. Magic, in spite of its fuck ups, is still played quite a bit. Pokemon has a massive audience, especially in the younger crowd. Yu-Gi-Oh! Still has its players. Those are the big three right there. I miss the old Dragon Ball Z card game. There were quite a bit of us playing that one. And then it got stupid ass complicated. If you have cards that are just filled with fucking text, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. And it doesn't help when the text is tiny as hell. It's like, really, you want people to play this game? Please provide a magnifying glass. Eesh. I don't know why I'm so passionate about freaking card games, man. I know this is the one that I'm waiting for the next Tabletop Games episode. Dot Hack Enemy. We had a tournament for that game early on, and I won a T-shirt that I got to wear to high school for my last year there. I just spent all this time and money on card games. It's kind of hard not to think about it. Between card games and then miniatures games and then board games. Games are absolutely critical to who I am. If I ever completely wiped out my game collection, something is very fucking wrong with me. And people are going to know it. Let's start asking questions like, hey, are you okay? No. I believe there's a handful of games at the very least that are in of the position. You can pry this from like old dead hands. Sakura Arms, first and foremost. Shadowhunters. Clash of Cultures, StarCraft. I'm reaching the point where I'm satisfied enough with my board games. I still want my commands and colors though before I completely give up the ghost on this collection. And then I just want to focus on actually playing the games that I have. But I probably should also put some effort into the games that I'm making as part of next year. It's just hard to get the courage to say, "Hey, do you want to play my game?" when we already have other games to play that more people are familiar with. But hey, we gotta learn new games somewhere, and it starts with the people who are passionate about getting people to learn about new games. And that's what that should be. So then, why am I looking to ditch Tuesday nights? You know, there's a certain environment that I want to start cultivating for the kind of people I play with, the kind of people I want to play with. An environment where we don't call people names like that. We don't. We try to be a little bit more understanding and helpful. And a lot of the guys I end up playing with are either a bit on the slow side or total hard asses about stuff. Very few, very few are actually pretty chill, and I wish I could find more people like that. I admit there are times when I get absolutely frustrated with playing a game. It's like, I fucking hate this game. Most notably, Kalis. But in general, I'd try to keep things reasonable. But it seems like the game group I play with, they also have some different interests as well, and I don't know how to get my own interests across. Because I talk about stuff, it's like, yeah, I like it, it's cool. Other people talk about stuff, it's like, wow, the cinematography is amazing, and you can see in these details, this, and that. It's like, I can't do it. I'm sorry. That's just not how I see things. That's not how I'm good at wording shit. So, it's like I want to talk about VTubers and you know, hey, these new guys just debuted and these other people have debuted kind of recently too, and these people are up to this stuff and all that, and holy crap, this one person got fired. Holy shit! And how do I talk about it? How do I see if people are interested in that? I don't know. I've something else I want to do is listen to more of my music. I I have my great big playlist of all this stuff I've gathered off my CDs. Just maybe use that. Listen to some of that while exercising. Get my exercise that way. Kind of hard to get my exercise in today though because of my leg. My left leg's feeling weird, but maybe when I was feeling a little bit less sore, and get back to work on getting in shape. There's another reason to keep the board games around. They're fucking heavy. I can use them as weightlifting. uh, yeah, it's kind of nuts how heavy some of them get too. Like Eve's Conquest. It's one of the what we call the poker chip games. Yeah, just a thick plastic poker chip for a unit or an agent. Wait, let me get some drink. Yeesh. And just, stack them real high. Yeah, that one's pretty heavy. I've been keeping some stuff in plastic containers, so that adds to the weight that way. Let's see, I moved War Chest to a plastic container because the box just was too much of a hassle to deal with. I saved the inner lids for War Chest and the expansions because it's got all that fluff on there. And I add those to the box. Ventura because the box is stupid ass huge to what actually comes with the game. StarCraft because that box was just too long for what I need to store. Same thing for Descent as well. And then Horizon Zero Dawn, which I don't have anymore. Yeah, if it ever seems like okay, this game is more manageable in a plastic box that's somewhat smaller, more manageably sized. I'll probably end up doing it, moving it to that box. And especially if it's stuff I want to protect. It's very tempting to want to move the Shadowhunters stuff to a plastic box. But I need to make sure that board fits. Like here's the example of the kind of box that I use. Like this is for War Chest. The Sterilite 8.5 by 11. It's good for storing paper, primarily. You have an excess of paper that you need to store. So I use with my that I was using with my cardstock. Yeah, that's another thing is let's find another use for all that cardstock. And I believe it kind of ties in with what I was talking about wanting to get back into a miniatures game. Using the cardstock to make like these kind of miniature army stands for a game idea. And then more cardstock for terrain. That's the other tough part of getting into a miniatures game. Is not just having 2 players at the very least. And having the money to invest in armies and books and all that. Investing in terrain is one of the biggest hurdles to getting a minis game going. You would have to be out of your fucking mind to play a minis game on a flat field of nothingness. That's how you get your army wiped the fuck out. If they're not suited to um, dealing with being out in the open. Case in point, the Dark Eldar for 40k. No, you cannot have an entire army of incubi. You're gonna have to field some fragile bastards that benefit from terrain and a fast transport to get the hell around. Yeah, I'm torn between the Dark Eldar and the Orcs for which army I miss more. The Orcs were fun. The Dark Eldar were a challenge that I needed desperately. Because I need to challenge my strategy and shit and learn to play more wisely when it comes to games in general. There are two games. There's the two games that I'm kind of known for, in terms of being kind of cracked at playing them: Concordia and Acquire. I don't always win those games. I just have a certain way of playing that seems to work out for me better than usual. I mean, Acquire kind of makes sense, just thinking in terms of, okay, I have this tile. It will expand this company. I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to put a tile somewhere else and then buy into this company as much as I can. And then when there's nothing left to buy out of that, these lined up right. Thinking, yeah, come in that much. Yeah. And when there's nothing left to buy, I just start building that up. The two times I played it with my aunt, one of my aunts at least, even though the option for Acquire is you can buy up to 3, most people usually do, my aunt's strategy was to only buy 2. Which might have had a short-term disadvantage of not having as many shares in something right away and having to pay a little bit more later on. But when I thought about it, it's like she's giving herself more money to work with in the long term if something isn't guaranteed. And you know what? It paid off because she won both games. And yeah. Speaking of my aunt, she's currently on vacation. Or she might be back already. I remember she was emailing me about, hey, do you want a souvenir from Japan? It's like, okay. Ooh, excuse me. Drink time. Down to the last bit of it. It's like, keep an eye open for anything from HoloLive. But then that might also be expensive because HoloLive is a big franchise. There's going to be stuff that's just a bit on the expensive side, so don't worry about it. If there's anything kind of culturally significant from Japan that's available as a souvenir, sure, send that. But yeah, they have to go to Japan before me. So I hope they're having a good time over there. The big focus for the next few years is get the fuck out of debt, get my passport, Learn some Japanese. Get a feel for where things are going to be that I want to go check out, and then go check them out. So see fit. Yeah, I don't. If I go to Japan, I don't plan to buy a whole lot of things. I'm mainly there for the experience of being in a vastly different country than this one, with a very interesting history to it. Because Japan has held my curiosity for a very long time. And it would be nice to see some of the history that's still there. There's a whole lot of pop culture weeb shit. I'm not looking for that specifically. If I see it, cool. I'm more looking into the older culture of Japan. Okay. Next step is cutting these. I'm going to do them off video. But while I'm still here, what are some other stuff I wanted to share from just personal things? I talked about Japanese. I've got my little Japanese to English to Japanese dictionary. This thing is... I've had it for... Have I had this for 10 years already? Holy crap. This specific book was copyrighted in 1995, so it's... first Ballantine Books edition, 96. So it's probably out of date with missing some stuff that's probably going to be more in use. Yeah. Again, I'm going to be working on games and stuff, but I also want to get back to my stitching. There are 2 projects that I need to work on. Oh, I want to show some of these off. The first is making a considerable degree of modification to this Sailor Mercury themed swimsuit idea that I bought. It doesn't fit, but I'm gonna modify it and make it fit. That's why I said about another outfit that I got. And it's like, oh yeah, I haven't gotten back to that yet. I should. Yeah, it's got these little shiny seashells. Cute idea. But I have to modify that one for being too small. I need online retailers to get their shit together regarding sizes. The other outfit. We're going to modify is this unusual top and bottom set themed off of Madoka Magica. This one I got too big. I got too big so I could size it down to wherever I get to in like a few months. Other stitching projects, I've got one I was working on recently. It's Snow White. So I'm working on the skirt part of it. Yeah, the skirt's going to be this long. This is not something I can wear in public. This is more for my personal, my bedroom collection. So yeah, it's 12. almost 18 inches. It's going to be less than that when all the hemming is done. Interesting underskirt and poofy sleeves and the top part. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's mainly just waiting on my next, working on that, waiting on my next tabletop games video. And generally just staying busy with stuff other than being chronically online. Alright. If you're still here at the end, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Alright, this has been Pillar Nexus. We'll see you next time.